been at RAP a year now, I've started to understand and really appreciate how that level of professionalism gets reached. What makes RAP unique for me is its voice. So it's really that balance of cutting through complex things without oversimplifying. That's what RAP does well. I'm someone who's always interested in reaching for the next problem. And when I first got hired, I was introduced to Carl Linville, who was working on the 24/7 carbon-free energy project. And that just blew my mind. As someone who's bought and sold renewable energy credits, I knew intimately the underlying problems with that programmatic structure, primarily that it's an annual monthly accounting system rather than an hourly one. But to get involved in such a far-reaching, ambitious project where not only we're trying to bring time granularity from annual down to hourly, but to get the geographies tightened up. The 24/7 project was like, no, let's bring this down to how the real electric grids interact with each other and operate. And again, the Europe team gets brought in. They're ahead of us as they are on other topics, us being the United States, with respect to industrial electrification. And so that's really where I've learned and grown. Europe takes a legislative, regulatory heavy approach. The US is much more market-based for those same technologies, but it's just all in a continuum, and you just kind of blend them together to see what works. So the project I wanted to bring up was renewable siting and permitting. Lawrence Berkeley Labs gave RAP and other organizations some funding to basically survey the entirety of the United States, each individual state, and ask the question, how does wind and solar get sited, and how does it get permitted in this state? Another example of a very collaborative project where we weren't just working with our colleagues at Lawrence Berkeley Labs. We had Climate Action Task Force, 50 states, a couple dozen attributes of those states on the topic of solar and wind siting and permitting. And then you had to make sense of it. So it was really challenging to the point of being humbling, to try and get it right and get it in a format that would move the conversation forward nationally. And that's really where I can't say enough about. Thank you, Ruth Hare and others from the communications department, who really brought a very wide and diverse conglomeration of information into an accessible, somewhat standardized format. There are real frictions in the law and in the regulations, and in this siting is kind of an umbrella term for interacting with the local community who's going to host this project. It's maybe overstating the case to say it's a family atmosphere, but it's a close-knit group of professionals who are really not just dialed into the clients, but dialed into each other.